With nearly 50 books, you are a prolific writer. What was your favorite book to write, and what about it made it a favorite?
Well, as I look back at books I've written, probably some of the more well-known books are, I enjoyed writing them, but if I was to choose a favorite, Heaven is well-known. It sold over 1 million copies. Treasure Principle, a couple million copies, like that. So a lot of people will associate me with those books or some of my fiction, Safely Home, Deadline, that sort of thing. But actually, a couple of things that come to mind. A little book that I did years ago called The Grace and Truth Paradox. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason I loved that book was I saw in Jesus, he came full of grace and truth. And I thought, even if you take the fruit of the Spirit, there's 9 components to that, and you start it's like juggling balls, how many of these can I keep in my mind at the same time? I love the simplicity of grace and truth. And I think the fullness of grace and truth, it's not simply that grace and truth balance each other, though they do. It's that Jesus came not 50% grace, 50% truth, but 100% grace, 100% truth, and they're fully compatible because grace is the greatest of truths, and truth is not really true when it lacks grace. I mean, it might be academically, objectively true, but I just loved writing that book. And actually, then I've done a couple of graphic novels, and those are the long comic book style. And those have been very fun to have artists, Marvel Comics artists, who are taking my biblical content and doing some powerful things with them. The most recent one is called The Apostle, on the story of the Apostle Paul. It was so fun taking from the book of Acts the story of Paul, going back into the Gospels also, backstory, to present the fullness of the gospel in Jesus Christ. That was very fun too.